Thank you for joining again. If you came right now, we are starting the webinar. I'll give you a brief introduction to who we are. Again, this is a collaboration between Data Meaning and Lead It Forward. I'll pass the word to Andrew Kim from Data Meaning, and then I'll talk a little bit about Lead IT.
So hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Kim. I'm a director here at Data Meaning for the enablement team. And we are a boutique business intelligence firm. So that means we deal with a lot of BI and a lot of IT stuff, right? So that's part of the reason why we picked Andrea here, is because she works with individuals that are in the IT space. We cover full end-to-end solutions, right? Everything from data infrastructure side all the way through to visualization and all the pieces kind of in between. And as we kind of talk about these things, we've been in business for over 20 years at this point, and we are Global Partner of the Year with a couple of our technology partners. Andrea?
Thank you, Andrew. And Lead IT, or Lead It Forward Academy, that has that double meaning. It's a leadership coaching academy. We specialize in the IT business, and we offer individual and team leadership coaching. So welcome to our webinar. I would like to invite Andrew, before we talk and we start the topic here, right? Shifting your mindset for effective leadership. Just to provide a few examples of things that he experienced and that the leadership coaching really helped him as a leader and also his team.
Yeah, wow, that's that list is pretty lengthy, actually, Andrea. So whenever we kind of talk about this, I look at the mindset shifting, right? So positivity is extremely important. And you introduced us to a thing called Feed Forward, right? So that way we can elicit the opportunities and focus on the future, right? Instead of the past and holding on to those chips or feelings. And I mean, also as we're discussing that, right? You helped me through my journey all the way from managing just a few people as a manager, right? And now I'm a director with about 30 people reporting to me. And that experience obviously comes with some changes. And that's only been over the last couple years that the team's grown that quickly, right? So your ability to facilitate with communication, right? Ensuring also, I couldn't manage all 30 people by myself. So that also means cultivating new leaders, right? And you've assisted in that. Again, by helping with communication, helping to drive passion, and then focusing specifically on helping those individuals focus on the things that are going to move the needle, right? And then to be guided towards opportunities, right? And then also the personal aspects that are at play, right? To make sure that we're well balanced. And as we talk about going forward into the future, we have so much integration with our lives when we're working at home, right? You even helped us during COVID by talking about those different dynamics, right? And how we can support by doing happy hours, etc., right? A lot of that experience and exposure were things that you helped us kind of navigate and then figure out and adjust as we went along, right? In order to create a healthy culture, which allowed us to accomplish being Partner of the Year a couple years in a row with Alteryx.
Thank you so much. That is a great testimonial. I couldn't have written a better one myself, but thanks for joining. And guys, we're gonna get started now. Again, my name is Andrea Gouveia. I'm the founder of Lead It Forward Academy. And today we'll be talking about how to shift your mindset for effective leadership. So you, like Andrew and his team, you can also get to a state where you really feel that you're providing value to the people that you lead. This webinar is sponsored by Data Meaning, an organization that has been taking the right steps towards effective leadership. I thank you, Data Meaning, for this opportunity. So let's do this. By the way, guys, I would like to start with a poll question, right? What do you think? Do you think technical people can lead. Thank you for your engagement. All right. Very, very good. All right, so we are there. Most of you say yes, right? A few of you skeptical about it. And hopefully for the few of you that are skeptical about it, this webinar is gonna change your mind, right? So when we advertise this webinar, we ask if you ever question certain managers' ability to successfully lead their teams, or if perhaps you are going through leadership struggles yourself, right? Or maybe a leadership position is coming your way and you want to get ready. We know that even the greatest business out there, they suffer from having challenges, managerial challenges. The IT business or teams, they have unique challenges to form great leaders. As a former IT executive, I ran into these challenges myself, and I saw many of my colleagues who were technically brilliant facing obstacles as they accepted their leadership roles in their careers. We'll be talking about these challenges today, and I'll give you some tactical tips towards effective leadership. I, by the way, welcome any comments and questions you have to make at any point. So again, you can use the Q&A because your experiences will really make this webinar way more interesting. Thanks for responding, guys. So 70% said no, I don't think they can lead, and 93 said yes. All right. So let's move forward here. All right, so this presentation has three phases, right? First, we'll talk about the challenge of what is the challenge? Leading teams coming from an IT background. Then I'll talk about the source, right? Where does this challenge comes from? Why does it exist? And then finally, I'll talk about the shift. A lot of things that made us great technical professionals, that made us get to where we are. We need to create some patterns in our brains that are preventing us from moving forward. So we have to create the shift. And those, at the end of the presentation, I'll give you 7 shifts that you can start applying today as you walk out of this webinar. All right. Us IT professionals, we are built and groomed to solve complex problems, to have all the answers, to be solution providers. So when we are given a challenge, we identify the root cause and we troubleshoot, and we will not stop until we find the best possible solution. Our competency is measured by the technologies that we learn and the deepness of understanding of them. Right? The more solutions we provide, the more powerful we feel, the more valued we are within our communities, and the quicker we are promoted to the next level. It has been this way for a lot of us, right? And in general, we all started as juniors someday, right? And we climbed levels in our careers, becoming more and more experienced. The path could look like something you see on the screen, from junior to senior to premium, or a variation of those titles, right? The fact is, with each new title, we gain more value in the market. And at some point in this timeline, we may have been offered a managerial position. This promotion usually came as a recognition of all the hard work that we put on over the years. We could come from seniority, or somebody even saw leadership potential in all of us. But to a lot of us, it became the biggest challenge we've ever encountered in our careers. Forget about decoding complex scripts or modeling heterogeneous data. These were easy compared to being a manager. Yep. Leadership is no joke. And I am here today to tell you that if you agree with the statement that leadership is no joke, you are not alone. Leadership is especially challenging because many of us were not ready to lead, or were not taught important skills that would make us effective leaders. And in my 20 years of industry experience, I have seen this scenario play out too many times. Brilliant technical people failing miserably in their leadership roles. They go from loving their jobs and feeling powerful to feeling misplaced and unworthy, dragging people down with them. And looking at this scenario, I found my own passion to train technical people to become effective leaders. So the source, right? Where is this challenging coming from? Well, when we decided to follow the technical career, we typically invest a lot of our time and effort in learning technical skills. We consume as much information as possible in as little as time as possible. We learned a lot of different technologies. We then apply all that input to succeed in our consulting, engineering, architect, project manager careers. And with time, we became excellent in programming language, data architecture, data modeling, data movement, visualization, you name it, right? We were very good. We are very good. But with that much time dedicated for developing our cognitive skills, which are also called hard skills, we may have placed little effort to enhance certain skills that are essentials for the evolution of our careers, for the next steps. Those are called the soft skills. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between hard and soft skills. What is that difference, right? Well, hard skills refer to the job-related knowledge that we need to perform our jobs efficiently, right? Examples, being a subject matter expert, math, statistics, data, technical skills, the softwares that we learn, right? The Java languages of the world, the cloud infrastructures, the Tableau visualizations, the Alteryx, ETL modeling, the different technologies, everything that we had to learn to perform our jobs efficiently, those are hard skills. So what are soft skills? They are the personal qualities that help us really thrive in the workplace, that help us relate to others. Those are our problem-solving skills, ability to storytell, communicate, provide feedback, being creative, right? So the hard skills tells you if we are good on paper, and the soft skills tell us if we are a good person to work with. That's the best way to simplify. But where does the problem come from, right? Why is it challenging for us? Because in school, we didn't learn much about soft skills. There were not subjects that was not in the curriculum, especially when we went to school back then, right? So we didn't learn how to communicate efficiently, or how to properly structure feedback, or how to care for other people's careers, or how to develop empathy, how to generate an environment of co-creation, establish trust, transfer knowledge. These are all very important to efficiently lead a team. Our technical preparation, heavily based on hard skills, fail to value this set of skills that enables the creation of successful teams. And as we climbed the ladder of our careers and became managers, it became our responsibility to make our team successful. It's no longer about us, it's about a group of people. And in order to achieve such success, one cannot fall short in soft skills. So, I spoiled this. It's time for another poll, okay? And hopefully you didn't see the screen. But tell me, what percentage do you think soft skills represent in job success? 20%, 55%, 85%? Interesting. So I give 10 more seconds for you guys to answer that. All right. The majority of you actually got it right. 50% says 85%. And my next screen here is here to prove. So a research conducted by Harvard University, Carnegie Foundation, and Stanford Research Center actually concluded that job success, 80% comes from soft skills and only 15% comes from hard skills. So you're not just taking my word for it. You know, there's some very relevant institutions that did that research and concluded that. Where is the disconnect with organizations though? When you see where organizations are spending their training money on, look at this. 72% of the training budget is still going to hard skills training. Less than 30 is going to soft skills, even though that is what impacts job success the most, right? Something to think about. Okay, so what does it take to produce great leaders out of amazing technical people? A shifting mindset, one that is focused on developing soft skills, right? Let me build on that. Okay, so let's talk about the leadership shift, which is really the shifting mindset that we are talking about. Come on, Andrea, we are IT professionals. You raise the challenge, we need the solution, right? So let's talk about that solution. Like I said, what got you here won't get you there. By the way, there is a book with that title, right? By Marshall Goldsmith, which I do recommend you guys read it. Because the very skills that got you to where we are today and made you successful as a great technical resource may have created patterns in your mind that are deserving you on your leadership role. And again, I want to emphasize this because you're not alone. We all like technical resources. We were built this way. So our brain created those patterns. And now we have to find new ways to be effective in our leadership. That's why we need the shift. And after coaching so many of my fellow technical professionals, I noticed patterns of thoughts, communication, and behaviors that were impeding them to be successful at the next level of their careers. So then it became my focus to start leadership in coaching, to bring awareness of these patterns to my clients while providing them the tools to succeed. So I'll share 7 of the mindset shifts recommendations that I have, which you can start practicing today. Are there any 7? Only 7? No, there are more, but today we'll start with the first 7, right? So you can impact right away as soon as you leave this webinar. And before I start, I want to make an invitation to you to perform a self-evaluation, all right? Transformational change requires awareness. And as I list a few behaviors that require mindset shift, rate yourself from 0 to 5. Do you recognize yourself in certain behaviors that I will list here, right? Do you recognize yourself in those scenarios? And the rating 0 to 5, right? 5 being the most intense, will help you prioritize what to execute first. All right. So on the next screen, I will list the behaviors that require mindset shift. And then one by one, we will talk about where they came from, why we have this behavior, and what's the shift that needs to be created. All right. First, again, try to rate yourself, okay? You're not gonna have to share with the audience, don't worry. This is for your own awareness and your self-evaluation, 0 to 5. The first number that shows up in your mind, that's the one you should write down, right? Because then you're not manipulating that rating. You are still in full execution mode and you have little time for planning or strategy. How much do you see yourself in that behavior? Heads down, executing, and very little time you take to plan and to strategize. 0 to 5. Behavior number 2, you believe you are the one who must come with all the answers and solutions to all your problems. So as a leader, or when you walk into a meeting, you still carry that burden that you are the one that has to provide the solution. Always. 0 to 5. How do you rate yourself? Number 3, you tell people exactly how you want things done. You're the type of person that tell people what they have to write on an email, how they should speak with a client, right? Exactly how to prepare a presentation step by step. 0 to 5, how much this is your behavior. Number 4, you assume your communication is efficient, so you get impatient with questions when you're asked. So when you're talking to someone, you do believe that you're giving them all the information, and when they ask questions, you get impatient. 0 to 5. Number 5, you tend to focus on mistakes and you fail to recognize what people do well. Have that very clinical eye that is really good to spot certain things are not going right. But when people do the right things and they provide excellent contribution, you don't often, call it out and recognize it. 0 to 5. Rate yourself. Number 6, you fail to use errors as opportunities to evolve. So again, the clinical eye catches the error, and then you point where the error is, who created the error, but you're doing little to make the error a teaching moment. And number 7, you multitask. Ding, 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 ding. I believe a lot of us are guilty, and on a level 5 here, right? 0 to 5, a lot of us will have a 5 for that one. Okay. And because this is just brain patterns and they are common behaviors and they are part of yourself right now, you can even be asking the questions, what's wrong with these behaviors? Like, I truly believe that, multitasking is a great thing. Right? I truly believe and I can swear by these behaviors. So on the next few slides, we're going to attack one by one, and I'll show you where those behaviors come from, right? From our brain patterns, but why you should make the shift and what is the shift you're going to be making. All right. Shift number 1. You are in full execution mode and have little time for planning or strategy. Why do we do that? Because as consultants, as technical resources, we were trained to be the fixers. We were measured by our ability to execute. So what we know how to do is to get a challenge, put our hands down, and do not stop until we find a solution. However, as leaders, you need to do more. You have more responsibilities. It's not only about you. And your job security is about your team and the success of that team. So as leaders, you need time to plan. You need to work on strategy. You need time to meet with your team. What is the shift you need to make? Delegate, right? You don't have to do every single task yourself. That's the reason why you are a team leader. You have a team. You can start delegating and sharing tasks across your team, so you have more time to the strategy, to provide the vision, to meet with the team, to get some feedback, to provide feedback, right? And guess what? People will feel useful when you offload tasks to them, right? They feel valuable, that you trust them to perform these tasks. So not only you're going to be freeing up space for yourself to be more strategic, you are going to be valuing and engaging your people along the way. So the first shift is delegate. I think we have a question here. No, this is just information. Okay. Let's go to shift number 2. You believe you must come up with all answers and solutions to all of the problems, right? Where does that come from? Again, from us being trained to be the fixers. So we feel like when we have a challenge, we need to provide the answer. So we walk into meetings with our team with that burden that, and now in our minds the whole time that, oh my gosh, I have to provide that solution. Okay, but as leaders, you need to bring new ideas and perceptions to resolutions. And how do you do that? What shift? You include your team as part of the solution. You don't have to be the only one providing answers. When we open up to others to be part of the solution, we bring other ideas and perceptions to the case, which can provide faster and more efficient resolutions. In addition, the feeling of co-creating brings unity and foster trust in the team. The team wants you to ask for their help. They want to feel that they can add to that solution. And a lot of times, because we feel we have to provide all the answers, we do not give that opportunity to the teams that we manage. So open the solution for them to contribute. The next shift has a lot to do with this one, right? Is you tell people exactly how you want things done. I gave the example. You tell exactly what words to put in an email or how to structure a presentation, right? And how to handle a customer call. Because you believe your way is the best way and you have great intentions. It has worked for you. So you want to already give that person the shortcut, right? However, as leaders, you must discover what your team is made of, how resourceful that team is. And you won't be able to do that if you're always telling people what to do, right? So the shift is provide guidance and vision, but trust your team to know how to get there, know how to execute. Let's be honest, nobody likes to be told what to do. Yes, your team needs direction, but they want to be the ones who decide how they will do it. They will allow this shift will allow them to bring their own tool belt to address the challenges, and you may learn new ways of doing things. Your team will feel empowered and will feel that this trust has been built. I love the metaphor, right? You as a leader, you say, I want us to climb that mountain. We have to get to the top. That's the vision. How are we going to get that? That's up to us, the team, to decide what tools we're going to bring, what paths we're going to take, how many nights we're going to sleep. So let us figure it out because we have our own strengths, right? And we want to use them as we find solutions to that vision, to that challenge. Shift number 4. You assume your communication is efficient and you get impatient with questions. I have seen that over and over again. And let me tell you, 80% of us or more are not aware that we do that, okay? Why do we do it? We have solutions-oriented brains and they work fast. And we assume that people have the information or are thinking as fast as we are, right? So when we tell people, we transfer knowledge, we give them job requirements, right? We give them information and next steps, we assume they understood. But as leaders, we must spend the time with the team to prevent communication gaps and rework. The worst thing that can happen is you make some assumptions, your team goes, starts executing, and then you realize there were so many gaps in understanding and comprehending that a lot of the work has to be redone, right? So the shift is take the time to answer any questions you are asked. Create the space for people to ask questions, right? We all make assumptions that may fail us. questions are great tools to close the gap in communication and prove to be great aid in avoiding rework. And here I have a suggestion, right? A recommendation. Instead of asking, do you guys have any other questions? Right? That is a closing remark. You can always, after transfer knowledge or in your communication, say, what other questions you have for me? That's a way more, is an opening way of inviting people to actually asking questions. Okay, so again, what other questions do you have for me? All right. Shift number 5. You tend to focus on mistakes and you fail to recognize what people do well. Why do we do that? Again, we were trained to find deficiencies to fix. That was our expertise for many, many, many years, right? We had to find what was not working so we could troubleshoot, get things working fast as soon as possible. But we use the same mechanism when dealing with people. As leaders, you want to show you value your team and you want to reinforce the behaviors that add value. So if someone does something great, you need to call it out, right? So what's the shift? Recognize people's contribution. We all need validation. We all need to know that we are adding value so we get engaged and we do our job more efficiently. When you recognize someone has performed well, they will understand what in their work they have to do to continue doing well. And that is a great feeling. People that feel valuable stay in organizations. So when someone performs their job with excellence and generates positive results, recognize it and point out the exact behavior or action that added value. Shift number 6. You fail to use errors as an opportunity to evolve, right? Again, we have a binary mindset. We did, right? We were built 0, 1, right or wrong. Errors were inconveniences to us, right? We believe that pointing out errors prevents people from repeating the mistakes. But as leaders, we must use mistakes and errors as teaching moments. Mentoring others is part of your leadership role. And nothing better than something that went wrong for us to teach the right way, right? What is the mindset shift here? Feed forward instead of feedback. Andrew, who gave the testimonial at the beginning of the presentation, he says that's one of the things that Andrea introduced to Data Meaning, feed forward, right? Why is it important? Because we cannot change the past, but we can make things right in the future. When the conversation is only feedback, is only based on the past, people feel stuck and attacked and may not even understand the mistake or even want to do something about it, because when you feel attacked, it's just shut down. But when you give an opportunity for the person to think about solutions to challenges, they find excitement and motivation because in the future, they have an opportunity to get it right. Feed forward instead of feedback. So instead of insisting and pointing fingers in the mistake that were done, yes, you can say, right, what happened and how that was not a good result, but don't stop there because that takes the power away from people. Now, ask the question, if the same situation happens in the future, what would you do? What could you have done differently, right? And what will you do differently in the future to make this right, to make this better, to make it more efficient, to bring positive results? That feed-forward piece is key to help people learn with their mistakes. And now we have the shift 7, the multitask, which I believe is the one that can generate some controversy because people believe that they can get more things done if they multitask in less time, right? Raise your hand if you're guilty of the same. You're talking to people on Zoom, but really your eyes are on a different screen, answering emails and answering team messages, and the person is talking to you. This is multitasking, right? You may have 3 monitors, a lot of notifications. And let me tell you something. A process of multitask is actually a myth. The process is called task switching, because in reality, what our brain does when you're trying to do multiple things at a time is switches from one task to another and then back again. And every time you make that switch, you pay a tax on both your time and your energy. Have you asked yourself why you get so exhausted at the end of the day if you haven't even walked around the block? That task switching is draining your energy, right? So as leaders, you want your team to feel safe and believe you have their back. Answering emails or working on tasks while talking to people shows lack of interest on your part. So this is one example, right, that impacts your team directly if you're multitasking. Back when we were all at offices, right, somebody walks into your office and asks you a question and you answer without looking at them, right, because you think you did a good job because you answered the question. Guess what? If you had stopped what you were doing and you looked that person in the eye and really listened to what they wanted, they would feel appreciated. When you're doing multiple things at a time, they don't feel like they are a priority, right? So the main shift is devote your full attention to the people in front of you, making sure that you're not multitasking when people requires your attention. That goes a long way into raising the level of your leadership. All right. To summarize, these are the 7 shifts to lead IT. Those are 7 action items, very tactical, that you can start today to increase your leadership power. And if you recognize yourself or people you work with through a few of these examples, you have taken the first step into shifting the mindset. Awareness, because what is made aware is very hard to ignore. Now, these things will be bothering you in the back of your mind, and you have to do something about it. And you heard from Andrew at the beginning of this presentation, and here you can see some more about the success he's seeing with himself and with his team, and how leadership coaching not only influenced his career, but also how it impacted his company too, which is a key display of tangible business results that can further develop your leadership growth. Many of you have a new or even stronger sense of awareness now, right? You know what your skills are, you know what you need to develop. With the 7 steps that we discussed today, that's only the beginning. Leadership is a continuous cycle of learning and developing yourself. Going on this journey alone can be long and difficult, and it can take a longer time than it needs to. Lead It Forward has several options to help you on your leadership journey. We provide coaching sessions for you and for your teams. So if you are interested and you want to learn more, you can go to my website. You can shoot me an email, or you can even send me a text. I'll be happy to have an introductory call free of charge to all of you. And what we're going to do, we're going to leave a poll open here. And obviously, we're going to open for questions if you have some. I would love to answer some questions or hear some comments about the content as well. But if you want to have more of these webinars that are based on and focus on soft skills and how that can improve your leadership role, please answer this poll so we know which of these subjects are more interesting to you, so we can form the next webinars. All right, let's see what you guys want. And do you guys have any questions for me? Let me open the Q&A right now. And if you want to just unmute yourselves, if you have any questions, I would be happy to hear your voices and to see if you have any questions about this content or anything related to leadership. All right, great. So most of you are interested in a continuum mindset shift. And then we have some great content along the year. So we're going to keep partnering with Data Meaning for this webinar so you can get more soft skills, right? Tips for your leadership roles. And this is not only for IT. I know that leadership is a challenge for a lot of the other industries as well. And the tips that we give here, they can be applied to different industries as well. Just IT is very unique in the ways that we were built, and that shift is very accurate based on all of the coaching that I have done with my fellow colleagues and all the scenarios that were that help transform and create the shifts. I would love to do a follow-up. There are 7 more shifts that I can talk about with you guys. So we put that together. I just wanted to end. I don't think we have any questions. Do we, Elaine?
Andrea, yeah, actually, Tiago Sanchez raised his hand, so I'm going to allow him to speak so he can ask his question. So, Tiago, you are unmuted. Welcome.
Thanks. Hi, Andrea.
So good to see you around here.
Yeah. Good to see you. Great presentation. So, and we've worked for everyone. We've worked together back some time ago. So my question to you, Andrea, is among all those 7 shifts, what was the most challenging for you when you switched it from you were a great technical individual contributor to a leader? And how did you work around it?
Great question. For me, I think the number 1 shift, the fact that we are in execution mode the whole time and we don't stop to put our hand out and plan and strategize. That was the most challenging because, you know, I started as a consulting. I started as a technical support engineer. I went to consulting. I became an education trainer. Then I became an executive. And I was always executing. I was always being proved by my ability to turn challenges and problems into solutions. An outcome. And once I got a team and I needed to spend time with them, I need to, forecast, I needed to plan, I needed to strategize. I had a hard time breaking that pattern, but the team helped me a lot because they were requesting more from me. And because I always enjoyed working with people, I realized I had to make that shift. What really helped me was taking coaching myself, because at some point, and on my personal life, just sharing a little bit, I have 3 kids. I was traveling way more, than my husband. At some point, we had 3 kids at home, and I said, I need to learn how to make my time more efficient, to be an efficient leader, to take care of people and to get things done, right? So I had to make that shift. I took coaching myself to be able to learn how to do those things. But thanks for the question.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tiago.
Anybody else? So just sharing the results here of what you guys want to hear next. All right, so we'll keep working with you. Hope to see you guys again. And just as close remarks, remember guys, leadership is really not a noun, it's a state of action. It's influence, it's your ability to influence others. And you can only influence people that want to follow you. A job title doesn't make you a leader. To create followers that follow you because they want to follow you, you want to use and you want to learn soft skills, right? Those skills that were not taught in school. You must invest in learning how to understand humans so you can better work with other humans. And you want to use the skills in a shifting mindset. Thank you, and together let's lead IT forward. Thanks for everyone that joined.